and that team is the 5 seed Dallas Mavericks, who the Mavericks took out the top seed in the West, the young OKC Thunder, 4-2 in 6 games. And so, Kevin, I'm tossing it back to you on this one. What did you think about the Mavericks' ability to close this out? Because I know that you said OKC in 6, but it ultimately was flipped.
Gotta show love to the Dukies. We were talking about them, so let's go ahead and talk about them. Derek Lively, 10 points and 15 rebounds. Since 1980s in a series clinching game, there have only been 3 rookies to do it. And by the smack of your lips, Toddy, I know you know the list. So go ahead and tell the listeners who also joined Derek Lively on that list.
Oh, I don't know the list.
You don't know the list. You want to take any guesses?
The list of guys that
in a series clinching game put up 10 points and 15 rebounds.
Who's the other guy?
Shaun, any guesses?
Tyler Hands? No, not Tyler Hands, but that's a terrible guess. I feel like it has to be another Dookie.
Nope.
No? Okay, no, I give up.
Magic Johnson and David Robinson. So that is hell of company to be in, and that is the game that Magic Johnson did play the center role. So I guess they were all 3 centers. But what really made this difference in the series was PJ Washington. The both teams called up Charlotte and said, we need some pieces. They said, you want Gordon Hayward? The Thunder said, hell yeah. The Mavericks said, you want Gordon Hayward? I said, hell no. They said, well, we got PJ Washington. Said, yeah, we'll take PJ instead. So they both went off their separate ways, and PJ Washington really came to bloom. Since the trade deadline, this team has been the number 1 team defensively the last 6 weeks going into the postseason, and it's starting to show. His tremendous growth. Shaun mentioned a stat last year. Him and Luka were the first duo to put up 25 and 10 since somebody, I'm not too sure of the stat off the top of my head, but his playoff.
No. First ever duo. First ever duo. I think the stat was 25 points, 10 rebounds, and at least 5 3-pointers. First duo to do that in NBA history.
Yeah, man. So PJ Washington blew up. Going into the playoffs, he only averages 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. But in games 2 through 4, 29, 27, 21. And we're talking about the pieces that they brought in. We also have to talk about Daniel Gafford. I know there's a lot of the hype's around Derek Lively, but he doesn't start. Daniel Gafford goes up there. He had a double-double in the series, and he averaged 8 points and 9 rebounds. So that tandem is doing a lot of work for them, and it's going to show. We saw Kyrie not have a great series, and we saw PJ Washington step up. I don't think Kyrie's going to be able to play that kind of a series and then go to the finals. But the Mavericks got a lot of good things cooking, and as far as the Thunder, you got to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander some help. You have to. He averaged 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. We all talked about how Sam Presti has hit draft pick after draft pick after draft pick. Now it's time for these draft picks to show why they were drafted so high. We saw Chet and J-Dub's numbers both decrease, both of their shooting splits decrease in the playoffs when the lights get the brightest. And it comes down to your guys showing up, and the Mavericks guys did. And the Thunder's guys did. And the Thunder said, Shai, take us to the finish line, and we'll do whatever we can to skate by. They just didn't have enough. And I know a lot of Thunder fans are going to say, well, Kevin, it wasn't a foul at the end of the game. No. We can only talk about what it is. What have you done for me lately? He fouled him. He came out there and said he fouled him. So the Thunder have a lot of things to do. A lot of teams don't lose in the second round and say, at least we got the 12th pick in the draft. So they're in a really good situation. We were talking about it, I think probably really early in the season. Should they make a big time trade? Should they go all in? They really need another big man. Chet is really, really good, but after Chet, it's just a bunch of wing players. So they're going to have to get some size in, and either Jalen Williams is going to have to take another step, or they're going to have to find a guy to come in and do that. Kevin Durant. But, I'm all here for a redemption story.
And speaking of Kevin Durant, I did just want to mention an Instagram comment from earlier. You can follow us on Instagram at StatsOverPolitics and see all the great content Kevin's putting out there, our daily picks for the NBA playoffs. But also, moments like today, you could be watching us live on Instagram right now. And at Terrence G _ said earlier when we were talking about Frank Vogel being fired, he said, get rid of KD. So KD could potentially be on the move and a potential reunion back to Oklahoma City. But Toddy, now focusing on this series, as it's well noted, Kyrie is ya boy. And so, what did you think of him returning to the conference finals, just this time, for the first time, in the Western Conference?
Kyrie didn't particularly play well the majority of the series. I thought he had really good spurts, particularly in the fourth quarter in most of these games. In Game 6, I thought he played fairly well. To going back to Kevin's point about, Chet Holmgren didn't show up. Chet Holmgren's a rookie. Let's pump through brakes a little bit. I thought he did well defending the rim in this series on Derek Lively, on Gafford, and just as a whole. I believe what OKC will do is say, hey, we like our young core and J-Dub, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Chet Holmgren going forward. They got some playoff experience now. I think a lot of people going into the series were like, OKC's a little bit too young. They're probably going to have a rude awakening going against the Mavs. But there are also those other people saying, well, the Thunder are the number one team in the Western Conference for a reason. And they'll show everybody what a great offensive team that they are. And, you saw Dagnall try to make some adjustments with having Josh Giddey in the game, being in the starting lineup, to him kind of fizzling out like, Giddey's more of a reliable what's the word? He's a
consistent.
No, he's a liability.
Liability. Okay.
He's a liability more on the court because teams are kind of daring him to shoot more than just being a slasher and kind of what he's good at. And they're inserting guys like Isaiah Joe and Cason Wallace. So, like Kevin said, you got a bunch of picks, Sam Presti. You got like how many? 16 picks, like in the next however many drafts. Let's start to use them a little bit and kind of figure out what you can do. Can you get a star back for all of those picks and see where this team can go? And you get a big guy in the draft, just another rim protector, because we know that this draft is kind of meant for more role players than, starters in this draft. So do you kind of go out and get a guy who can more defend the rim and block shots for you going down the road and kind of not leaving Chet high and dry? Or do you kind of use picks and try to get a star in the summer? So I don't know. There's a lot to kind of, look forward to for the Thunder. I thought that they had a tremendous season, but the Mavs moving on. I think I had the Thunder winning the series, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but this is a hell of a series we got coming up in the Western Conference Finals. So hats off to the Mavs for getting it done. I think where the Thunder really lost this series was that game 5 going back home, because they were down 2-1, tied it up. Literally that whole last 9 minutes of that fourth quarter was really wonky, and they had all the momentum going back home. And then they kind of just laid an egg at home, and they lost. I think it was by double digits for sure it was, but that was their chance to kind of really take the series by storm.
Before we move on, Shaun, I had a question for you, Toddy. I know you said Chet Holmgren's a rookie. Take it easy on him, Kev.
You had him win a rookie of the year before the year started.
Name me another rookie, the third best player on their team for the number 1 seed.
I feel like
Oh my God.
You can't. He's in a box of his own. I know it's early, but you got to play. Toddy, let's call it what it is. He's essentially a sophomore. He ain't bushy-eyed tail no more. He's supposed to come in here.
He didn't play last year.
And we need you to play. I understand you being young. There was an excuse of youth in the first round of series. No one said it. He has to play better. I understand they're young and they still have a lot of places to go, but they're on 2 timelines here. Shai is 24, 25. Is he going to want to keep doing this? Now that they've gotten over that jump, is he going to be okay with just going to the playoffs and saying, we're the Thunder, we're supposed to just make it to the playoffs? But he has been playing a dominant role for this team. And when the lights get the brightest against competition that really wasn't the greatest, he went above Derek Lively. And, Derek Lively, I know he doesn't score as many points, but defensively he was way better than Chad. So you got to take it with what it comes. And I know they're young, but he had to play better. Him and J-Dub, their shooting splits to go down the way they did, they have to play better. You can't put it all on Shai's back.
I thought that I had one for you, Kevin. I really did. I thought Jason Tatum was one, but his rookie year, the Celtics were the 2 seeds. So very, very close.
It's just
Thought I had one.